What's going on, guys? It's me, Max. Welcome back to the channel. On here we cover international living, working remotely and being a business consultant. So I wanted to cover a guy actually that I've seen in the mall walking past before who frequents Paraguay quite regularly. He's a guy who operates in the kind of offshore online, making money space. He's a guy called Caleb Jones. Now, Caleb put out a video not so long ago about working as a business consultant and making six figures. Now, as someone who has been a business consultant in 2014 and set up his own business in 2017 and has lived in an international lifestyle since 2018, I thought I was pretty well suited to make a response video and just give you guys my thoughts on Caleb's video about making six figures as a consultant, and then also kind of his channel and outlook in general, right? So let's this is his Instagram page, but let's jump into the video because I've got it preloaded right here.
This way to get from zero to the money in your own small business is being a consultant. And I would know because I've been a consultant for over 25 years. I have made literally millions of dollars in my consulting practice. Originally, I was an IT consultant, then I was a productivity consultant, and then I was a management consultant. It has been my primary form of...
So yeah, there are numerous kinds of consulting you can do. I'll say first of all, as I've mentioned before, and you guys know from watching the channel that watch it, I am a recruitment consultant. I've also worked as a business consultant, done company formations and things like that internationally. But I know there are various kinds of consulting you can do. As I mentioned, he was an IT and he was also a time consultant. But I've met many consultants, I've hung around with them, and it's a really lucrative industry depending on sort of what segment or sector you get into. And I even used to, when I lived in Bangkok, I dated a girl that was a KPMG tax consultant, and she used to make very, very, very good money. So depending on which destination you want to go in terms of the type of consulting, you can make great money. And I think for anyone that's just starting out in business, if you're a little bit confused what to do and you don't know what to sell, then I think consulting can be a very good option for you.
Of income throughout my adult life for the past 25 years, and I have worked with many consultants. I have coached with consultants. Consultancy is the blood that runs through my veins. It is something I know very well. And I will show you how to start your own consulting practice that is location independent, meaning you can do your consulting from anywhere in the world, get clients anywhere in the world, and you never have to travel unless you really want to.
So yeah, I mean, that is one of the benefits of being a consultant. As some of you guys that watch this channel might know, I have worked as a location independent consultant since 2018. That's when I decided to do the whole digital nomad thing and start traveling. It's a lot more prevalent now and a lot more people do it, but when I first started doing it back then, there weren't as many people doing it. I sort of followed Andrew Henderson's channel from the first 10,000, the guy who does Nomad Capitalist, and obviously his channel's grown. People like Caleb have started producing content in a similar space, and the industry of being the location independent consultant or worker has tremendously skyrocketed, especially through COVID. So once you start living this kind of international lifestyle and you don't have to be anywhere you don't want, it's very, very freeing. I can't think of anything better, really. I mean, I've decided that I wanted to go to various parts of Asia. Decided I want to wake up in Cambodia one morning. Jumped on a flight when I used to live over in the Philippines, and being there and decided to have my breakfast in Cambodia, and then go back a few days later or something. So it's so freeing. And if you are a young person trying to think of starting a business, I would look into consulting, deciding on a segment that you want to go down, and obviously try and get some training or get some skills and just go after it.
Like I said, consulting, unlike most other business models, is the fastest business model that I know of to start a business and get to the big money as quickly as you can. There is no other business model that I'm aware of, and I'm aware of a lot, where you can start from zero, get one or two clients, and start making as much as 5 figures a month. I have seen people do it. I have done it. It works.
So yeah, I mean, one of the things I will say is, because depending on the kind of consulting you do, again, it's very sector dependent. But in terms of what I do with the recruiting and recruitment consultant stuff, is it took me 3 months to get my first 4-figure payment, and then after that, within a year, I pretty much made like $100,000. So if you want to go to 6 figures within a year, I think being a recruitment consultant is a great direction to go. Obviously, if you want to go down a different route, tax consultants make a lot. Obviously, Caleb was an IT consultant; they make a lot as well. But I completely endorse being a consultant. I think it's a great direction to go. And again, I would personally recommend recruiting.
works shockingly well, assuming you know what to do. Now, I know what you're going to say. I have no marketable skills. I have no skills that anyone would pay me for. I'm going to say what I've said before. If you hired me for coaching, and you probably can't, but if you did, and we sat down for 2 hours and I sat down with a clipboard and I grilled you, I would be able to uncover at least 2 skills that you have that you could use as a consultant. And if you
Now, I'll be honest with you, I agree with a lot of Caleb's points, but I don't necessarily agree with him on this. Because obviously, like, if you're just some guy that's, I don't know, living in Idaho, not to pick on Idaho, but if you're living in Idaho eating Cheetos on the sofa and you've never done anything, not being very ambitious all your life or not trying to get any skills, then you probably don't have anything, right? So, I mean, in my opinion, there are 3 routes you can go down to actually get some skills that are marketable and that you can use, as a consultant. Now, number 1, you can pay for training from a guy like Caleb or from someone else, another person who trains consultants, right? That's one option, but you need money to do that. Now, if you don't have money, you can try and find someone who might let you help them for free, shadow them and learn that way, and offer to help them free in their business and then pick up skills and experience by doing that and shadowing them. The third alternative that you can do is you can actually do what I did and pick a sector that you want to go work in. Go work at a company for 2-3 years or something, and then you will have the skill set to go into the market and make money. That's what I did, and I kind of planned on doing that. I was like, right, I'm going to go work at a company for a while, learn consulting skills, and then make my exit and set up a business, and that's what I did, and that's how I ended up working online since 2018 and now living in Paraguay, right? So, yeah, I mean, I agree with what Caleb says, but I think if you've got no marketable skills, which, some people do, do have that or are in that situation, then I don't think you can turn that into consulting personally. I think you need to be trained or you need to shadow or have work experience.
You couldn't use it as a consultant, you could at least use it as a coach. The longest, most expansive video course I have ever made is called the 6-Figure Location Independent Consultant. It is the longest course I have. We are launching this course at a...
So yeah, this part of the video just goes kind of into a pitch for Caleb Jones's courses. Now, I've never personally bought any of his courses, but we have a friend down here called Bitcoin Paul who's really into some of Caleb's stuff. He's bought some of Caleb's dating stuff because Caleb's got like a channel about having multiple women or wives or something. It's involved in I think, is it polygamy or something or multiple woman game? I'm not really up on the space, right? But Paul's into that stuff. Obviously Caleb's into a lot of the woman game stuff as well. He's separated his channels into 2, I think now. But I mainly just follow his international living stuff. But yeah, Paul very much rated Caleb's course highly and thought it was great. But he's a big fan of the guy. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty much just my response to Caleb talking about making 6 figures as a consultant online. Like I said, as someone who's been a consultant and lived internationally and worked online since 2018, I thought I was pretty well suited to kind of make a video about this and just respond to Caleb's outlook on working as a high value consultant. Now, I actually like Caleb's content. I agree with a lot of what he says. I do agree with the viewpoint that Western nations are in decline, and it's better to kind of not live in the country where you make money if possible and live in a cheaper one, because even though I make very good money and don't have to worry about these things, you do have the effect of currency arbitrage where if you can earn in the pound or the dollar or the euro, and then you can spend in the guarani or the peso or some of these other currencies that are low value, you will have a tremendous standard of living for a quarter or half the price that you would in America or Western Europe. So for me, it's a no-brainer, and I figured that out the first year that I actually started working online and went away, and I couldn't believe how far, the money went. So it's one of these things where if you're a young person, I would personally recommend getting a skill set or learning something where you can work online, making a plan, and then moving out of your country and operating remotely. And then if you can, get some residencies and some bank accounts and diversify a little bit. Not everyone agrees with his viewpoint. Some people are more optimistic on the West. Caleb, I will say, is very, very, very pessimistic on this stuff, and he thinks the West is going to collapse. Now, I don't agree with that because I don't think that all of America, for example, will collapse, or enter sort of that stage. I do think that parts of America in certain states are going to go through a decline, like you're seeing, migration from California to Texas and places like that. But I just think that capital always tends to flow from places that are less economically friendly to more economically friendly. So I think this is just a trend that you're going to see happen. And it's going to start leaving Western nations more because a lot of them are becoming quite uncompetitive compared to how they used to be, right? So yeah, I just thought I'd give my opinion on Caleb's video, on his response to him making 6 figures as a consultant, then his philosophy on the decline of the West. Like I said, don't agree with him as much on how pessimistic he is. But again, in my opinion, I don't think you can ever be sure about anything, so you're always better off being safe than sorry, right? So Thank you guys if you tuned to the channel and watched the video. Right, I'll see you in the next one. So like, comment, subscribe if you like this stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.